Hello everybody, it's your boy Prof and we're back again with a new video. New set video, which a game that we've never heard about, probably no one has ever heard about, so let's check it out. Some indie shit that might be good.
Hey, struggler.
Probably is decent.
Sseth here. If I
We'll
sound
see.
sick, I am sick.
We know you are sick, Seth, and it's not a normal sickness, brother.
Ate
Sick in the
rare
brain.
water buffalo from Zhengzhou wet market, and I feel ill at ease. Hello,
Interesting accent.
chud. Apply your
Chud?
finasteride and strap in, because I have a new
Chud.
hyperfixation. It's difficult to recommend a roguelike. With the
Oh,
full
it's a
knowledge that I'm
roguelike.
asking you to memorize keybinds for an entire keyboard and dedicate the next week of your adult life to using advanced inventory management to haul a diesel
Advanced
engine across town. In a game with less visual fidelity than the graphing calculator I used to cheat on my math exam, Path of Achra is not only the fastest roguelike out there,
God.
it's also the only one that can be played by holding a single key. Similarly, you can speedrun adverts by pressing L on your keyboard.
Buenos días, amigos.
I'm currently in Mexico. Don't ask why. I've got just one small problem. All of my favorite shows are region locked. And by region locked, I of course mean watching anything other than Dragon Ball Z in my area is punishable by death due to
By death.
regional licensing agreements. But if you're seeing this video, that means I didn't get caught because I use ExpressVPN and was able
Are we
to get
kidding,
access to my
man?
sweet content from all over the globe. ExpressVPN routes all of your internet traffic through a secure encrypted tunnel, so nobody, not even
El resplandeciente.
knows what you're up to when you go online. All it takes is one click, and now my internet traffic is a secret for me and me alone. Even ExpressVPN has no idea what
Hey,
I'm doing, thanks
listen.
to their trusted
You don't need to hide behind this, brother. This is not gay.
server
Okay.
technology, which,
Yakuza,
if you
not
didn't know,
gay.
means they are literally incapable
No matter
of
what you
storing
do.
your data. Now
Okay.
I'm secure. Hold on. I've got
Definitely.
another problem. Every website is defaulting to this strange alien language I've never seen before. I brought it to the local university, and after an hour of debate between the world's most premier anthropologists, they've identified it as Spanish. It would take
Spanish.
a lifetime of study to
That's a lot
decide
of pain
which
there.
of these myriad incomprehensible buttons are hiding the language options. A lifetime that I cannot spare. Thankfully, ExpressVPN allows you to easily spoof your location to one of over 100 countries.
That's a
Just
lot
pick
of
your
countries.
location, click connect, and you're
More
done.
than 99.
Much better. Right now, you can take advantage of ExpressVPN's Black
saw that
Friday
was-
Cyber Monday offer to get the absolute best VPN deal you'll find all year.
6 months
Find
free.
out how you can
For
get
24
3 months
months.
free by scanning the QR code on screen,
Does that sound like they're gonna fuck you in the ass after that?
clicking the link in the description box below, or by going to expressvpn.com/Sseth. The cartels won't wait for you, but I will. Holding
Will you,
tab
Sseth?
will attack the closest enemy, pick items off the ground, and take the next exit automatically. Do not mistake this ease of entry for
Jesus,
lack
what are
of
we
depth,
looking at, though?
because I've played this for several dozen hours, and believe me, I don't know what I'm doing. It's very simple. You pick a race, a class, and a god. This is similar to real life, where,
A
based
race,
on
a
channel
class, and a
demographics,
god.
most of you are Albanian. Each time you kill enough
Wait. I don't think Albania has this many
enemies,
people,
your
brother.
glory
There's like
rises,
15
which
people
is this
there.
game's version of leveling up.
Like a
This
mountain
gives you
and a
a
half.
choice of attributes: strength, dexterity, willpower, or vigor, and gives a point to spend
Vigor.
on powers. Powers are abilities in one of 9 elements, each with a unique play style. Of these, you can mix and match up to 7 powers from a total of 3 different elements. Or you can just hit random and spontaneously die because it gave you Plague Chant. Dropping enough points
Plague
in certain
Chant.
powers fulfills requirements, allowing you to select a
Let's talk for a second, okay? Why do all these goddamn games have shitty UIs? I swear to God, if these like early access made by one person games had decent UI, they would be good. Like, you know, normal people good, not people with light autism that want to play this for like 30,000 hours good. Like, brother, what am I looking at? Can you give me a menu that explains shit, that tells me what I need to do, tells me how to do things? Like, is that so hard? Like, come on,
Prestige
Ubisoft
class,
got
which
it
will power
going.
scale your character from good to ridiculous.
Is it
Completing
so
a dungeon
hard?
takes you to the Overland, where you're given a
Like,
choice
look
of up
at-
to 3 different
There's like
paths
1,000 numbers and 3,000 words on the screen. Like, there must be an easier way to do these things.
you can take on the Path of Achra. These give exact information on what items you'll find and which enemies you'll encounter. Items are important for
Jesus.
survival, and enemies are
That's a big boy.
doubly important, because if you don't read the fine print of their description, you'll die without knowing that a Storm Knight ignores 90% of your defense and shreds your early tank. Everything in this game works by interacting with a set of triggers. For example, we have a Cyclops Warrior of Marduk. On attack,
Of
he deals
Marduk.
blunt damage equal to half his
Marduk?
current life bar to adjacent enemies. On game turn, he applies 7 poise to himself, amplified by his class special. I take points into heavyweight, which deal damage to the attacker when I shrug off
I'm currently taking points into that shit as well, brother.
the attack, meaning my armor score is higher than the enemy's hit, which is the damage of an attack that connected because the enemy's accuracy is higher than my dodge. However, I have a shield.
Okay.
My shield blocks most attacks. Block takes precedence over
90%.
armor, and I rarely benefit. This is an example of antagonistic triggers. I want to be hit, so I drop the shield. Our racial passive triggers on attack, not on hit, which means it goes off regardless if our attack actually connects. I have no natural healing, which doesn't matter because we take vigor each time glory rises, which you can automate in the bottom right. The higher my health pool, the more damage I do. So I hold tab and become catatonic for the next few minutes. Then I pump 10 points into heavyweight, which lets me take the Gallus prestige class, which deals blunt damage in a 4-tile radius each turn, and every time I shrug off an attack equivalent to my encumbrance, which is massive by the way, resulting in me being an incredibly slow fat fuck who relies on enemies killing themselves by attacking my gigantic armor score. This is my 600-pound life,
Damn.
or as some might say, the ideal female form. Our god of choice, Marduk, transforms
not
helmets
see-
we
what?
pick up to
No,
become
there-
even heavier, so we do even more damage. On the way, I managed to pick up a Maruna Sash, which makes us attack adjacent enemies on step, meaning our racial passive now triggers from simply walking up to enemies. We take the heaviest armor with the highest inflexibility, because we also found the Inu Greatsword,
Why he's still going? What is happening?
which, on attack per point of inflexibility, deals ice damage in a path based on encumbrance,
What the fuck is inflexibility? I know the word, I know the meaning of the word. What?
which means every attack I do now sprays out 5 volleys of ice. Inflexibility divides
what I
speed
mean.
and willpower damage bonuses, but we're incredibly obese and retarded, so we don't care. Any items that aren't needed can be burned for extra stats by mousing over them and tapping free. At this point, we stack strength, get fatter, and keep holding tab. Keep holding tab so long you win the game. Congratulations
the winning
on
of the
beating
game?
Path of Achra. On the first cycle of humility. Good luck on the
First
second
cycle
cycle of
of
degradation.
humility.
I used to think the 6th cycle of annihilation was bad, until I reached the 16th cycle of rupture. But now I'm at the 32nd cycle of outer dark, and time is melting. Consuming Century Egg was a poor decision. Cycles are this game's way of stress testing a build. A solid understanding of triggers will get you through the first cycle, which is the intended difficulty. But you'll need ridiculous
Intended
synergy to
difficulty.
survive ahead. Enemies are more brutal, but the trade-off is more
So the point of this game is for you to craft builds, go through the cycles. Like, it doesn't have a story. Does it have a story? I don't know. Maybe it has a story. Probably doesn't from what I'm seeing. So you just craft builds that can go through enemies that get progressively stronger. I'm gonna be honest with you, that does not sound that fun.
experience as
Maybe
you'll
it's
reach
fun,
your
but-
prestige class before you even finish
As
the
I
first
said-
2 floors. And believe me, you're not going to survive very far without
Autism
it.
is hit a
Glory
little
or
hard.
Death unlocks other classes, races, and gods for you to combine. It doesn't take very long. A couple successful runs are all you need to unlock every option. The only
Gala?
purpose of gating them is to
Skeleton.
keep new players from getting overwhelmed, and to punish me because I didn't pay the first time, and I have to do it
Disciples
all
too.
over again. Tab builds are some of the most prominent, but there's another kind
Pirated
of
that shit?
gameplay. It's called standing still. Quamar, ascetic of Fada. We put everything into Astra hunting. We remove his armor, and this is what happens when I click spacebar.
I thought it was
The
tab.
neon genesis across the room, very Evangelion-ly. Explanation: each time I stand still by hitting spacebar, Astro Hunting teleports me to the closest enemy and deals damage. And if I have no armor equipped, this also triggers on kill. Normally, after teleporting, you receive stasis, which prevents further teleportation. However, our god removes stasis on standstill, leading to a chain reaction where each time I score a kill, I trigger Astro Hunting again and repeat the process. The build itself
So you
is
just need to
garbage.
one-shot
The
everything,
important thing is
or
that
you
you have
die.
another key to press. Summon builds are self-explanatory. You fill the screen with summons that do all the work for you. Viviabra, Druid of Ninhur. Your class weapon deals poison damage to the closest enemy on summon. Prestiging in Briar Mage amplifies all poison
Briar
damage by the
Mage.
stacks of Entangle on an enemy, which you apply each time you summon. As most summons take place on entrance, you nuke the entire floor before the turn even begins. You win the game by entering a room. We've reached perfection because we're pressing no keys at all. Grove Cult fills the screen and heals you each time you summon. Grave Chant summons cadavers each time you make a kill, which propagates the feedback loop. In the event you don't win outright, Arbormancy and Overgrowth applies Entangle each time a summon attacks or is attacked. Venokinesis deals poison each time you entangle, and Dread Legion randomly steroids your forces each time they die, which are
Wait, what was that?
poison each time you entangle, and Dread Legion
I like from as an altruism on them or something.
randomly steroids your forces each time they die, which are instantly replaced
Right.
because we summon 2 Briarfolk, 2 Geezes, a Vine Spawn,
So
and
the
a
summons
Hatchlet.
are on the right side. This is your character on the top.
every turn. Despite dumping everything into willpower, you'll quickly reach your summon limit, or simply run out of space. Star Cult applies Meditate each time you summon, which, combined with the Entangle stacks from Briar Mage and your willpower, chunks the final boss from several million to zero. The king
Several
of many
million.
colors. And I don't like any of them. In this game, there's only one active ability. Prayer. Each god has free prayers which charge on different triggers. Do you enjoy putting your testicles in a vice grip and squeezing them until they burst like a little grape? Well, I've got just a
What did we just watch? I feel dirty after that. What was that?
build for you. Lokra, Priest of a Worm. The worm is a god that corrodes
Okay,
every enemy on screen when they move.
I don't know what worm, but I think I saw the
For
dude's
you,
worm.
Lokra,
That's a small worm,
Priest
brother.
of a Worm. The worm is a god that corrodes every enemy on screen when they move or attack, and heals you for the stacks of corrosion under the condition that his first prayer isn't fully charged. What does it do? It pours acid on you. If enemies are still alive, it heavily corrodes your character. If enemies are dead, you nuke yourself for 300 psychic damage. It charges each time you enter a new area, so you have a choice between delayed or immediate pain. It's well worth it, and a single point in
Is
life
it?
chant outweighs the chemical burn. Status effects are incredibly dangerous conditions if allowed to stack.
Is-
However, by taking points in a
What was going on in that video? What the fuck? Where does he find
master
these?
power, such as Master
Why is he
Scorch,
eating
Freeze,
ice?
Bleed, Entangle,
Eating
or Doom,
ice.
we are no longer affected and benefit from the condition instead. Sinking 20 points into Master Doom lets us
Master
prestige
Doom.
into Torturer. Each time we apply a harmful effect to ourselves, Torturer copies it to a random enemy according to our current stacks. Master Doom applies Doom to yourself on ally or enemy
Looks
death.
like a game.
Priest amplifies status effects, giving us 50% more Doom. The Worm's second prayer charges on Stand
No
Still,
comment.
but we take projection to make our prayers count as Stand Still, which means praying now charges the prayer. We make use of our
Praying
infinite prayer
charges the
with
prayer.
necromancy, which on prayer summons cadavers. We fill the screen with trash summons for the purpose of killing them off. On ally death, they give us doom stacks. Torturer propagates and copies our doom stacks. When attacked, a creature takes 5 death damage per stack of doom, which importantly doesn't have to connect. So my skeleton swipes at the enemy, misses,
Skaven.
and nukes them for 6 million damage. Welcome to Torturer. This is one of the
Actual
most mechanically
Skaven
complex builds
from
with the
Warhammer.
most actions on
Fantasy.
screen. So at this point, I recommend turning on fast mode, turning off VSync, and uncapping the frame rate. It's also
For one
incredibly
half-
fragile. Early game
Damn.
sucks ass, and if you encounter a Firebird, Thunder Priest, or Edlight, you won't have to worry
Edlight?
about any of that, because your run is over. With that in mind, here's something a little more reliable.
Goblin
Sorcerer of
Gangbang
Apophis.
soundtrack.
Apophis gives strength
I'll
each
be honest
time you
with you. I mostly look at RPGs on Steam, and from what I've seen lately, yes, Goblin Gangbang does not seem like something that would not be on Steam. They have so many sex games nowadays on Steam. I don't know why. Like, I feel like whenever I click on RPG, 60% of the games there are sex games. Why? I don't know. Am I complaining? I don't know. Don't know.
climb at the cost of taking 7% of your max health
Big
each time
confused,
you're
brain
attacked.
confused.
This is not a problem, because enemies will never reach you. 1 point in Burning Ooze, 10 points in
Burning
Oozemancy, which
Ooze.
summons a number of blobs equivalent to your skill level each time you pray. Each time you score a kill, your prayers reset, making this an infinite loop. To stop nuking your own summons, take Invigoration, Projection to make prayers count as Standstill, Grove Cult to self-sustain on summon, and dump the rest into Star Cult. Anything that doesn't give Meditate or Trigger on summon, toss into the fire and get infinite speed because of your racial ability. Prestige into Ill Prophet and fill the
Ill
screen
Prophet.
with purple, and then punish people for standing on it. Or just go Archmagus and stack Infinite Meditate. Conversely, if you'd like to speedrun the game, take an Aslan of Ikshana, pray twice, and die on the second turn. In all seriousness, Varia Aslan of Eris. Aslans hate praying, and Eris hates prayer. They're perfect for each other. Eris rewards you for taking the
Okay.
most dangerous path by upgrading your main hand weapon so hard that it hits for 1,000,000 by the time you clear the first zone.
Damn.
Her prayers
4
do
million?
nothing, but as long as they're fully charged, you become nearly invincible. Taking a lethal blow when a prayer is fully charged triggers divine intervention, preventing death and
Preserves
draining
your
your
life.
charges. An apostle can exploit this by taking a god with easy charging prayers and dying repeatedly to reset his charges. Pair this with Gore-Tide for an even
Just
bigger
die, bro.
nuke that scales with missing health. I couldn't figure this one out. Sometimes a synergy is there, but you just can't piece it together into a working build. This was the case for me with Transform builds. I tried for the longest time
Transform.
to make Drake form viable. Prestiging into Ogum triggers prayers on initial attack. I can't pray or receive divine intervention, but I do get to be a dragon. Then
It's a
I
cool
wake up
dragon.
and realize Azada is a shitty god, and I could be doing this with literally anyone else. They're still interesting, and if you ever want to disappoint your deity of choice, prestige horror form and watch the combat log as you
Wait, what did I see in that picture? I don't want to go back because I think think I saw something illegal.
Bleed someone for 1,000,000 damage. You receive as many stacks of horror form as the damage you take, which uniquely goes into the several thousands. Triggering a different transformation replaces and inherits all of the previous stacks. Brood Umpuad of Humbaba. Each time we take damage,
Those
we
are
get
not
and
real
inherits
words.
all of the previous stacks. Brood
Arconas the Brut Uptua. Okay,
Umpuad
fair
of
enough.
Humbaba. Each time we take
apologize.
damage, we get 1,000 stacks of horror form. Each time
Horror
we're attacked
form.
but don't take damage, we trigger our class
How
ability.
many different words are they gonna use for stats in this game? God damn.
And convert this into 1,000 stacks of jackal form, which gives
Jackal
us approximately 3,000 speed. To put this into perspective, a game turn takes place at a speed of 5. High speed is crucial for fragile characters, and nothing
have
is more
9,000.
fragile than basing your entire build on walking. On step is a lovely gimmick that doesn't work because level generation will kill you at every turn. I never thought I'd be saying this, but I am countered by a narrow corridor. That doesn't mean it's not fun. Tengu Nartaka of Tengri generates insane amounts of charge from fighting barehanded while wearing his shoulder piece. Taking Master Charge gives us speed per stack of charge, which you build up by stepping with Electromancy. Technique lets us shred enemies as we walk past them. Astrostoicism teleports away enemies whenever you're cornered, and prestiging into Elise generates even more charge. Tengri gives insane dodge per point of speed, and you'll feel like a complete god. Until something smacks you from a non-attack source and you die in a single hit. All of these builds require powers. But what if you took no powers at all? Well, if you somehow survive to Glory 20 without a single ability, you can prestige as Anroth and double all of your current stats. Volkite Warrior of Dorok. Dorok gives us poise each time we're attacked, amplified by our class passive. Volkite supplements our damage by burning nearby enemies based on the weight of our equipment. As long as we don't move, our poise stacks will tank us to Glory 20. Even after prestiging, we take no powers because the Anroth perk is even stronger. If we have no powers, each time our glory rises, we heal to full and upgrade our main and offhand weapon with an extra 100 hidden block. This doesn't sound significant on its own, but bear with me.
Doesn't sound like, oh, I haven't played the game, brother. It's 100. I don't know.
We pump nothing but strength, which after doubling by Anroth goes into the triple digits. Each point of strength increases our block by 10%. This is applied to the base value, which is continually increased by Anroth. This leads us to having a shield with more than 1,000% extra block. In the absence of
but it seems to stack to 90%, which is not good because there's like 10% you get hit.
This entire build hinges on finding a single item, the Arja Spear, which, on attack, deals ice damage in a path to the target equal to our block. Since this number is about 300,000, we annihilate every cycle in the game.
I'm gonna be honest with you, this sounds like Path of Exile on steroids and with a lot shittier of a UI. Because that's pretty much what you do there. You get one weapon or one piece of gear that does one thing extremely well, and you build a character around it. I don't know if you guys have played Path of Exile. I've played a little bit of it. Maybe a little bit more than a little bit. So, yeah, this is pretty much Path of Exile, but, ugly.
Or we fail to find it because of poor RNG and this build falls apart. Success in the higher cycles is less about skill and more of a dice roll if I actually get the items I need. In summary, there's a lot of builds out there, from berserkers that benefit from fighting completely nude to hemogoblin summoners that win by self-harm. It's impossible to cover them all, which is what makes it so fun. Everyone finds something different. I cheesed through with a dodge stack and mesmer and theory crafted endlessly until a friend saw the game and found a better build than anything I ever made in under an hour. This game is a fusion between highbrow and higher chromosome. The best builds are either made by master theory crafters or a Down syndrome savant, and there's no in between. Many games out there are wide as a lake and deep as a puddle. Path of Achra is a kiddie pool which you drown in, and 100 hours later, I'm still sinking. It's a slimline product with gameplay first, and in terms of graphics, yeah, I guess it has color. For the Zoomers that don't have an internal monologue or the ability to visualize an apple inside their mind's eye, here's what the game looks like to the rest of us. My only critique is that the sprites are sometimes such low fidelity that I can't interpret what they are. The golden litter is meant to be 2 hobgoblins carrying gold.
Those are hobgoblins? They look like 2 dwarves carrying
caked up demon turd with muscular legs wearing heels. Naturally, it's not for everyone, but if you're neurodivergent and your nickname at school used to be Active Shooter, you might enjoy this. Your only limitation is your creativity and your stubbornness to see it through. Even when it falls apart, restarting is a momentary setback. on the path of Achra. In keeping with the lore of this game, my final score is don't know, don't care, and if I did, I wouldn't tell you. 10 out of 10.
Fair
It's
enough.
$10. Go get it. As always, more
Bro, you
content to come,
pirated
so
it.
stay tuned.
Why
For more
would-
thanks to the many
Why
members
must we go get it? You pirated the fucking game, Sseth.
of a Merchants Guild, generously funding and bankrolling these videos. You're
God
all
damn it.
truly wonderful. Have a Merry Christmas, and I'll see you all next year.
Oh, this was on Christmas. Okay, fair enough. Oh my god. Okay, that was my first Sseth video in a while. Yeah. It's these are Sseth videos. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed this, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye, everybody.